Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Jason Williams, the founder of GIG, and I'm back here again with another great video. Every Monday, we do kind of breakout Mondays, which are geared to kind of help get you prepared for your business week, work week, life, whatever it may be, right? But each one of these videos are designed to target a specific point of contention, things that I found users in our community and around the world have ran into or questions I've been asked. And some of the biggest things that I try to think of is how can I best set everybody up, regardless if you do business with GIG or not. I want these videos to be videos that help every single one of you in our general community, right? So this video today is designed on protecting your assets and specific digital assets. That's something that we really stress very hard, take near and dear because almost every person you meet in the crypto space, hmm, I may have to put that at the end of this video what the statistic would be, but almost every person you meet who has a crypto wallet and has been in crypto has probably lost access to a wallet or funds or of some kind, including myself. I'm no different. But so of course, I was more in the beginning stages, right? But in this particular case, the scenario is the same. I hate to say it, but it is. So what I want to do is I want to help you guys avoid tripping over that step, and let's get you to step number three, if you will, right? Let's skip over an issue that is widely found in this space because I think when you do that for your users, members of the community, the more of us who understand this, the better and safer it becomes for all of us. And that's a really big deal. So today we're going to be focusing on wallets and protecting your wallets. All right. I'm going to be using my phone during this presentation. So I apologize for looking on and off screen, but that's what I'm doing. So let's talk about setting up like seed phrases. So for some of you, I'm going to start off a little slow here, but I promise you it's going to pick up and be worth it for every one of you. So when you create a wallet for first-time users, you're going to create an account. When you download an app, I'm going to give you some apps to use. I think that are very simple, easy, and allow you access to a lot of variety of things here in a minute. So bear with me. But when you set up these apps, you're going to need to create what's called a seed phrase. And this seed phrase wallet is going to, or this seed phrase is like your PIN code to your alarm system. With you never want to share it unless you're sharing it with someone who you truly, 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 and I mean unequivocally trust. Because if they have this code or these series of words, right, then what's going to end up happening is they can download the app and then get into your wallet, backdoor your wallet without your approval because they've been cleared through the security key. And that security key is essentially the only key that keeps your wallet safe. But when we talk about wallets, a lot of things that happen is people don't understand what a cold wallet is. I've got my code, one of my cold wallet accounts here. People don't understand what a cold wallet is and what a hot wallet is. So I've got Oculus Black Card here. And uh, guys, I hope you're ready to pay attention. Get a piece of paper out, pause this video, whatever you got to do, because for some of you, this is probably the first time you're going to hear of it. For some of you, it's not, but hopefully it'll give you a little tidbit or two that you didn't have. So let's dive into what a hot wallet is, what a cold wallet is, because there's two different types. So when you download an app on your phone, okay, let's just say in this particular case, a Trust Wallet app or a MetaMask app, a Timekeeper app, whatever it may be, when you download these wallets, okay, these are hot wallets. They stay connected to the internet 24/7, 365, which means although you know, tech's not necessarily there. There's still wallets and accounts that get hacked into, like Coinbase's, who've had issues before. So, what I always tell everybody is think about that. Truly, if it's connected to the internet, it's not truly secure. There's always people with malicious intent that are trying to find ways to hack into accounts. So, put it this way, I was approached. I didn't take this deal, but I was approached because this particular company, startup company, is developing an app. All right. Um, and this particular app is going to help people locate, identify, save, and connect back to wallets that they've lost. All right. I'm not a genius in the coding whiz, so I don't know how all that's going to work. But I immediately had a lot of reservations with the platform and the technology, being that I'm in the space, specifically for the fear of people that use it maliciously, all right, and with malintent to hurt someone and take things from them. So I ended up ultimately not moving on the concept and the idea for that reason. I didn't want to be attached to necessarily a project like that. At this particular moment, I told him once they get a little bit more solidified to come back and talk to me and we can look at it. But and in that particular case, I just wasn't interested. But knowing that there's codes that are out there, wallets that are lost, if people are able to get into these, all the money that's in those wallets that are lost that you had access to, but you no longer have access to, they can take the money out of them. That to me is worrisome. What I didn't know at the time is I understood like, oh, don't lose your code. So I tried to save it and I did save it good, but the way I saved it wasn't good enough. And ultimately, over about a year and a half, 2 years of using that particular wallet, back when this particular token was relatively new, I lost a lot of money. I had at that time maybe a few $1,000s in it, and I'm just giving you guys my story before we dive in here. But I had a few $1,000s in it. Those few $1,000s are probably now worth well over tens of thousands of dollars. And I lost it by accident because the way I saved it, which I thought was good, wasn't perfect. So I wish I knew what I know now then. And this is when I first started. So you can't cry over spilt milk. So long story short, it was a couple $1,000 burn, but tens of $1,000 learning lesson. So now I try to make sure that everybody that I run into that I give advice to, at least I taught them a little bit about what a hot wallet is and a cold wallet is. So hot wallets are accounts that are connected to the internet, like your phone that stays connected to a service provider. It's connected. So essentially someone is able to hack into it at some given point or time. Now, although it's not a large string of theft that's happening, um, theft can happen. So let's prevent as much as possible how much can be taken. And let's talk about what a cold storage wallet is. So a cold storage wallet, oh, there's my other phone, is a device. I use another whole separate phone. All right. I got two separate phones just to verify that. Two separate phones. All right. This particular phone does not connect to anything except for my home secured internet. All right. And that's it. It doesn't have any additional ports of entry. And it only connects to the internet when I'm actively using the phone. So I literally manually turn off the internet capability. It has no self cellular service signal. It is literally just a unsecured phone that just sits in the black abyss of nothingness. And what I've done is I've downloaded this particular card or company called Arculus. For those of you who are using it, I do not do affiliates subscriptions. So in the video link, you can find a link to Arculus, which is arculus.com. Or go Arculus, get Arculus.com, something like that. So just use the link and you'll be able to find it. I do not recommend getting this third party. I recommend getting it directly from the company. Why? Because we want to make sure that we're purchasing it untampered and unaccessed. All right, an unencumbered access point. Okay, so it's $100. If you're military, I think you could get it for 25% off. So it turns out to be about $80. If you're not military, then you get it for like 110, 115 after tax. So Arculus. So what Arculus does, and I'm going to do this here just to verify. Let me pull up the app, and I just gotta hide my numbers on here, guys. Privacy is key. But anywho, so essentially, Arculus is a digital platform. Once I open it, I'm gonna put my card to it. Once I do it, if you didn't hear that, I'm gonna do it again. Let me put it closer to the mic. There it goes, right? You heard it unlock with my card. Now I got it connected to the internet because it'll need to verify it, and then when I do it, it's going to unlock it, and all the different currency pairs that I have are all in here. And they're organized by individual currencies, and then by blockchain currency. So I can open them up and go into like specific Ether accounts, TRC20s, ERC20 type of accounts. We're not going to get into all that today, but what I wanted to let you guys know is this account is completely cold storage. So once I'm done with it, I could go ahead, swipe, close this account. It's now closed on the phone. When I'm done with the phone, I'm going to swipe down and I'm going to turn off all of my data connections. So you guys can see that all of my data connections are off. All right. And that's it. Right. So everything is off. Now, when I do that, the phone is essentially useless. If I touch the card, just to verify that, guys, if I touch the card, it's going to try to unlock it. You hear it trying to unlock it. But when it tries to unlock it, guess what? The app's not open. Why? Because I haven't done my fingerprint and my face scan for the app. So I leave this super locked. I like Arculus because it's extremely secured. All right. So you'll get your seed phrases when you set it up. And then that is my cold storage wallet. That is where I put my money and essentially keep it so that it's safe as best as possible. I'd like to tell people think of a cold storage wallet, whether you use Arculus or not, as a safety deposit box for your digital currency. And then you have the actual bank, right? That you can walk into with the teller. The teller is this one. She's open all the time. Actually, that was ironic that I'm opening that app. So as you can see, it's trying to request a face scan, finger scan, and all that, my passcode. So we'll talk about that app in a minute. Ironic, but essentially it's teller, right? So the teller is open, and in this particular case, there's no physical person, so it's open 24/7, 365. That's your digital hot wallet. That hot wallet are going to be accounts like MetaMask, Trust, Coinbase. There's so many. I think KYC or KEC, something like that. There's so many different apps. So that's the difference between a hot wallet and a cold wallet. Cold wallet again, safety deposit box. Hot wallet is like a teller. They're always open, always connected, always available. Safety deposit box, you got to be able to go through some steps in order to get to it, and then you got to be able to unlock it. And then when you unlock it, you have access to the funds. Okay. So that's the kind of the way to think of a hot wallet, cold wallet. Okay. I've given you one idea of an app, specifically company that I use, which is Arculus again. You'll get this black card. The silver portion is the scan piece. But you get that card, it'll allow you to interact with various networks. I mean, it's got over, it's, I don't even know, it's a ton of pairs. Now, I will say this, every application has its shortcomings. So Arculus does not have everything underneath the sun, right? So if you're trying to safely store uh, I'm trying to think of a Blast is on there, but at one point Blast, right? Or Dogecoin or Dogecoin or these little meme coins, because they're so small, some of them, not the ones I was mentioning because they're more mainstream, but these small startup ones, you're not going to be able to store them on that wallet, all right? Because they're not big enough in the market cap to be able to demand space on these networks because they have to pay to be on these networks. So they can't afford to pay to be on those networks yet, or they don't meet the requirements to be on that network. So this is really good for your adjudicated networks, BNB, uh, uh, TON, Tron, Ethereum's, right? When you start talking about smaller one, Blast, Doge, um, things of that nature. I'm just trying to throw out some that you may know. So those are good for the ones who are widely recognized. I like to tell you to think of if it's on a Coinbase kind of level, or you could probably find it inside Arculus. Now, it doesn't mean that they're never going to get it because Arculus is constantly updating this. When I first started with them, they didn't have nearly as much as they have now. I want to say they probably only had like 23 pairs. Now they've got over hundreds. So over 500 plus pairs that you can put in there. So let's talk about some apps, right? We talked about hot wallet, cold wallet, the benefit of the two, how to kind of think of them so that way you can structure everything. And let's talk about apps. So another app that I like to use is an app called QVex. All right. You can go to the QVEX.com site. Again, I'll put that link into the video. But you go into QVEX.com. And when you go into QVEX.com, what QVEX does is much like Arculus, they give you a series of cards. Okay. Now, our members in GIG are going to be set up with accounts with Arculus and QVEX. But if you're not a member of GIG, you're going to have to do this yourself. So I'm just kind of sharing this with you. You can go ahead, get your QVEX account, and you're going to get a QVEX box essentially that you would need because you could get the card, but without the box, it doesn't work. What it does is it uses, much like you saw me do with this card and put it to the phone, it's going to have a card that you put to the phone, and then you can also and or set up a pin. All right. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and type in my pin. All right. And then when you set this pin up, you're going to be able to come in and see an access of cards. And you can have numerous cards here, okay, like I do. Cards. Each card is a wallet security seed phrase. Now, you can't see the seed phrase on this, but what it does is it syncs this card and it allows you to communicate so that you can access pairs. It also allows you to lock in random generated codes on top of your 24 seed phrase code. Okay. So it gives you a redundancy system. What I like about it is the card, essentially, if you ever lose your code, right? I told you about my horror story at the beginning. If you lose your code, right, to something like Arculus, where all your money is staged or stashed or set up, whatever, right? Because you don't want to leave it in a hot wallet. What do you do then? Because you just lost all your money. Well, had I had that backed up for my Tron account, I think it was Tron account, I could have simply unlocked my card by verifying it with my phone. Boom, boom. All right. It works the same way. You got to disconnect all the servers and internet and then, connect it, verify the app, unlock it. Once you got the card, you disconnect the internet, you tap them, they talk to each other. It unlocks the security key on the card. Then you take it to the security box. And when you do that, it asks you for your PIN and your codes. You put it in, and then it unlocks that PIN, that whole card. And for 35 seconds or 25 seconds, something like that, it will display your security phrase so that you can manually type it in. By doing that, it makes two things happen: secure entry point from the phone, secured entry point on the card. Oh, did I say two? Three, secured entry point again by the device. Four, secured entry point again from the actual physical card having to be there. So it kind of quadruple locks your account. It's actually a 5 key authentication system that it does. And then you can go back to this card, if you will, and then unlock your account. All right. And put in your codes. That is the benefit of having something like QVEX. So QVEX essentially adds another layer of protection to your accounts by keeping you from getting locked out as best as possible. Yes, there is still a phrase or a code that you have to keep. Yes, the possibility of technically being locked out is still there. But no matter what you do in this field, when you're talking about securing your accounts, you're going to have a key or security code that you remember at some point. So, whatever it is, you're just going to have one code that you remember. But that one code, which would be for your QVEX account, would unlock all of your other devices that come down the pipe. Okay. So that's the benefit of QVEX. QVEX put everything in one easy code to remember. That's your only code that you use for only you. You don't use it for your credit cards or anything like that. It's a strict code that's just for you. And that strict code, when paired with the combination of security checks, will unlock the QVEX account and then allow you to easily get access to whatever seed phrase is on each card. So what I do is I keep each wallet separate. One wallet gives me one code. The next wallet gives me another code. Next card gives me another code, right? To each wallet. So each card is its own wallet. And I'll have, as you saw, quite a bit of cards. And I have all those cards all locked inside a fireproof, waterproof, redundant safe that's built into the house. It's actually bolted into the ground with rebar. Okay. Now, I know not all of us will be able to have that. So you'll have to think about where you're going to ultimately maybe store this. And I would recommend that you store them in separate places. If you're going to store them in their house, store them in separate places. The box in one place, the cards in one place. And if you have it written down somewhere else in another place, right? And then your backup phone in another place. Okay. and store them throughout different parts. So if your house was ever to be burglarized, right? Um, you'd be, I mean, they're gonna have to tear that whole house apart to find stuff that's literally the size of a credit card. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Now, mind you, once you get into the system and you get it set up, there's gonna be some things of the system that you can replace. So there's certain parts, and I won't say it on this video, but there's certain parts that are replaceable that you can still, even if they were taken, you can still get into the system with a replacement. And then there's other parts that are irreplaceable. You'll know those as you get into the network and the system because they do a great job at describing what that is, how that is, and how to treat it. So it's very, very, very important to know that. But even me, I have different storage points and different storage locations. So not everything is kept in my residence, not everything is kept in my home office, not everything is kept in my actual physical office. So stuff is all spread out. And because if I have to work to get it, so would someone else have to work to get it. So I want to make it a little hard for whoever were to have that malicious intent to get access to those things. So that's what I would tell you to do, and don't share that with anybody. Now, if you do that, I think you're going to find yourself in a pretty good place, in a really strong spot of securing your money. Because now what you've done is you've created a redundancy system for your passwords, you created a redundancy system for access to accounts, you've created a whole separate access point by having a secondary phone, which most of us are going to have because you upgrade phones all the time, it seems like nowadays. At least that's what they try to do. If you don't, next time you get ready to upgrade, don't upgrade. You know what I mean? Or if you want to upgrade, upgrade and go to Walmart and just go get a cheapo. You know what I'm saying? You need an unlocked phone that'll download an app. That's it. And these apps are all available on, by the way, Android or Mac. So or Apple, Google, right? So you can use them on Samsung's, Google's, Motorola's, Apple. It doesn't matter. All right. You can do that. I will tell you this as we kind of wrap up this video, and I know this may not be as exciting as some of the other ones, but it's a really important video. So as we start talking about, things, access points, do not, ladies and gentlemen, do not put apps on your computer that are going to unlock your devices. A hot wallet, maybe, right? Because you can log into the account from the internet and do it that way. That is just is what it is. That's the whole point of a hot wallet, so that you can access it from anywhere, right? But when you're talking about QVEX, Arculus, or stuff like that, and you may want to put these. Yeah, I don't think you could even do Arculus on your computer, or QVEX, in fact. But if you were to get some of these apps, try your best not to access apps from your computer, right? And do them from like the internet that you believe is secured as best as possible, and do it from your phone. Why? Is because your computer can get a bug on it or a virus, and so it's a little easier to hack. Your cell phone is a little bit harder to get a virus on, and usually, if you have some kind of bug or virus on your phone's going to act weird or do something, and you're like, "What the hell's going on with my phone? Like, why is it turning off? Why is it? I can't keep these apps open. How come I can't?" And then that's going to be when you're like, "Oh, hmm, message." But the benefit is if you get those bugs on your phone, remember you have redundancy systems you've now created in different access points that you've now created. So it's not like they're just going to be able to walk into these accounts. And if you're not keeping everything in your hot wallet account, right, or you're keeping a minimized amount, then you can only be compromised to a minimum extent, right? I always was told by my grandparents when I was growing up, specifically my grandfather, if a thief wants something, they'll get it. You just don't want to make it so easy that they look at you first, right? So if a thief wants it, they'll get it at the end of the day. You just want to minimize how much they get you for, right? So just minimize how much risk you have in the game. Because if you're doing what we're doing in GIG and you're doing what we're doing in other platforms or whatever it is that you're doing and you're making money, you're going to have something that someone wants at the end of the day. So you got to try your best to make sure that it's just not randomly floating around and easily to grab. You know what I mean? If you make it easy to grab, somebody will grab it. So I hope that this video is, although a little bit boring in ways, is really intuitive. So before I go, all right, my last point is I told you I wanted to give you some apps. Um, I accidentally took a picture to give you some apps here that would be great apps to have. So this app is a kind of a cool company. It's called Topper. You can find them on the internet, Topper. And that's just Topper. Topper is a really cool app because what Topper does that I didn't realize is, as you start trying to buy cryptonic currency, some of the things you're going to run into is where you can buy it from. The type of bank you have may not let you buy it. So you may have to go through steps to get into this digital space if you're trying to do it privately versus through a company. Topper, although they charge you what I feel is an absorbent amount of fees, will allow you to buy just about any freaking thing. And you can do it from a debit, credit card, all the same. So it's a really cool third party app if you're having problems purchasing currency or getting money into a currency, right? Let's say you have a Coinbase account, for example, and that Coinbase account only allows you to buy 400, 5,000, 4,000, whatever it is, you know, 100,000. Now, I'm not saying maybe I would want to do that much on the internet, but excuse me, let's say you're buying and you're doing it through Coinbase and you run out of purchase power and you get another good lead and you're like, oh, I want to get that too. But then you're out of purchase power. So what do? Right? Obviously, you're going to have to create another wallet, or you can use a third party company like Topper or MoonPay. MoonPay, I run into more problems with. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And Topper, in my experience, it's worked pretty good. So that's just a purchase point that I wanted to make sure I shared because it's really helped me out when I needed it or wanted it. Just be mindful you're going to end up paying a little bit more of a premium, but it's kind of like getting the Bentley, right? If you get the Bentley, you expect it's going to cost you a little bit more. This is like the Bentley of broker services to purchase because, of exchange services to purchase through because they allow you to use everything. So, I mean, like you should be able to purchase whatever you need right from their app without really any reservation. The only reservation really becomes if the bank is blocking you from actually purchasing on their site, which in my case, I have not run into very often. I think I have one bank. I can't really throw their names out because of the video. Don't want to get in trouble, but um, you'll know because it'll tell you. And then just try a different card. All right. So we talked about QVEX. The next account that I would like to tell people about here, and that's why I leave my phone off because I have it on Do Not Disturb, but certain accounts or messages do come through. Another account to think of doing is Robinhood. I like Robinhood a lot. It's very user friendly, easy to do. And if you are getting tips and tricks and or kind of nervous about doing it and you need good advice, the same stocks that I get tipped off to through investments and conversations with other people who are in this space, um, and are showing me statistics that says like, hey, this is a good buy opportunity. When I go into Robinhood and I confirm it with Robinhood, every time Robinhood has been saying the same thing. So I don't know if their system is really good or if it just, maybe I'm getting information that's already been verified through Robinhood. Who knows? But in my experience, when I get that lead, Robinhood does match up. So I like Robinhood for that reason. Really good platform to use if you're looking at doing stocks. I wouldn't do cryptonic on it, but I definitely do stocks. Crypto is not designed to be held like gold. Crypto is designed for movement. So the more or longer you hold something, it's kind of like the dollar. It goes up, it goes down. You don't know which way the market's going to go. You're not in the position to control the market or be in the position to hear what's happening before the market swings one way or another. Crypto can swing so aggressively and violently. I definitely recommend, utilizing crypto, not holding crypto. All right. So that's just my 2 cents. Take it how you leave it. Take it how you get it or leave it how you want it, or whatever the phrase is. Anyhow, another good app to use is Trust. Trust Wallet is a great platform. What I like about Trust Wallet is that it's going to allow you to access smaller pairs through secondary platforms that are embedded inside Trust. It also allows you to do some research within it by using the search bar so you can get to web links directly for what it is that you're looking for if you search for it within the search bar or explorer bar, which is really, really dope. That's really unique for them. So I like that about Trust because it allows you to do the major stuff. It also allows you to do the smaller startup tokens, a little more risky, but if you know what you're doing and you feel comfortable with it, great high opportunity return. We talked about that. Another platform, obviously, that you've heard me talk about is Coinbase. They're very well known, but I'm not 100% sold on Coinbase. It's just a widely accepted platform. They're pretty direct and forward. It's not like it's overly complicated. But if I had to choose one to start with, the fact that what I like about Coinbase is I can connect it and fund it directly from a bank account, right? Um, so I like that about Coinbase. Not necessarily the same with Trust Wallet. I've got to get the money and then send it like the digital currency and then send it over there to use. So as long as I've got money on my wallet inside Trust, and I can purchase. But to get money inside that wallet, I've got to go through a secure link to get the money in there. So that's kind of something to think about. So a lot of these you're going to use a combination of. So Coinbase or crypto.com would be my two majors, if not both. I don't like to depend on one, so I always like to have two to four. So that way, if there's something going on with this one or this one, I'm still able to do business with these other two, so to speak. It would have to be a massive effect across the market for me to have to adjust how I'm going to do business for myself and or clients, right? So I like to use those four options to get money in, out, and it also allows you more purchasing power as well to be able to do more business deals with. So those are my kind of my hot picks, if you will. Is Coinbase, Crypto.com, Robinhood, Trust, uh, the Topper application, and then if you're kind of looking at another platform to use because you're using crypto.com, you can use the crypto.com DeFi wallet. And the DeFi wallet will let you do more DeFi tokens inside it. So that's another account to use as well if you wish. So DeFi is going to allow you to do smaller pairs, newer currencies, and tokens that are on the market. So I hope that this video helped you guys out. I will try to keep our videos more engaged and entertaining, but I really wanted this video to be really serious because your security, right? Having your mindset right is one thing. Having your security is like the next thing. The third is having your system that you want to use, right? So before we start talking about the system, how we want to connect everything, make money, and do all this, it's really important to understand how do I secure and do I really understand how to secure and lock up my money so that I don't have as much risk with money being lost or stolen? How do I get my mindset right, right? And what should I really be ready to sacrifice or think about before I go into this? And then if those two are connected, I've got my base. Now I can build on that triangle going up, which is, essentially different wallet accounts, different trade lines, different companies, and how I move money from each one of those to strategically benefit myself or the community or the people that you're going to be doing it for or working with. So I hope that, again, this video helps out. Guys, take care, and I'll see you on the next Monday breakout. Peace.